Catch me outside. How about that?
All right, guys, welcome back to an episode of We Talking About. Today we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Walking Dead. That's episode 10 of season 7.
Did you look at my notes?
I cheated.
Okay. I moved my hand in case you had to, but I wanted to play it off so that no one would know.
This guy here.
Okay. How did you feel about this episode?
I didn't really care for this episode.
I didn't care for it either. Thank God. I wrote the word bullshit down 4 times and I underlined it.
It was a lot of just like putzing. Like talking about doing stuff, not doing much. The only real redeeming factor was I finally got to see what that like demon zombie was, and I was disappointed.
It's the dumbest, worst thing ever. Fuck.
Like
Fuck.
It made me think though, like, how did they do that?
So many things about that were so dumb. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My only thought was because they're like, that's Thomas or whatever they called him, and I was like, did they do this to a person that was alive and then kill
and then
them?
He died like that? No, because it was like stabbed through the chest or something.
That's how he died.
Is that how they killed him? I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
that part in the trailer for like this season, I was like, that's so cool. What is that? Oh my God.
Yes. So
disappointed.
If you were not, what is that? Impending disappointment. If you were not following the internet, like after this video, the like thumbnail might even be people were like freeze framing that trailer. Like, what is this? What is this weird? The guy from like Saruman's, gatekeeper guy, fucking weird ass. What the fuck?
The zombie version of Hellraiser is coming through here.
What is this? Great. Blah blah blah. And like it's totally not. It's totally. I couldn't have imagined where that thing would have been.
I'll tell you how I imagined it because it was better.
Saviors?
So in my vision, you had the Saviors had like 10 of these motherfuckers, and they would just like let them loose, and you're like, oh my God, his head's encased in metal. There's like, how are you gonna stop him? How are you gonna stop him? And apparently, you just let garbage fall on him and cut his head off with a piece of glass.
I'm so upset. All right,
it was a waste. It was like when they like show like some monstrous awesome dude and he like just trips and gets tetanus and dies. You're like, that's how he died. He could have done so much.
And there's a way to do that where it is okay and like it is cool and like it's like for a reason. And this was not that.
No.
So in the beginning they remind you of like last time, previously on The Walking Dead. They like remind you about Gabriel and Carol and like where people are at and all that stuff, and then it like triggers you to be like, oh yeah, fuck, Rick is smiling out in a junkyard or some shit. What's going on?
Yeah.
But then we dive right into like the folks at the kingdom talking to they're on like another like delivery run drop off thing.
Yeah, for the Saviors. And like just shit happens every time they have a drop off. I'm like, what are you people idiots? And as expected, again, we have some bullshit happen with what's that guy's name?
His name can't be Rick.
His name's not Rick. His name's like maybe Richard or
Rich,
sure. Douchey Mick, like strong arm security guard guy. He's again starting some shit, and he's like, give me your gun, and then draws guns, and then it gets to a final fight, and it causes Morgan to lose his goddamn stick, and he's got nothing without his stick.
He's just a stick.
He is just a stick.
So he loses his stick, and like it's even dumber now that like King Ezekiel like didn't want to do the thing because like he's like, no, everything's fine. Like every time we go on like a run, something horrible happens and people fuck with us unnecessarily, and he gets a fat lip and he's whatever the fuck. But it's fine. Let's just not rock the boat.
Yeah.
It's even dumber that he's not seeing that it's getting worse and they're being bullied and fucked around with.
But what's weird for me is that their donation or their tribute, whatever you want to call it, for this round was like 10 watermelons and like a thing of gasoline. It was like nothing. When the Saviors come by Rick, they like to have trucks and they steal everything the man owns. And they're like, yeah, baby watermelons, that's fine. Organic, okay, cool, let's go.
Ooh. Seedless? Ooh. No, I know, and that was I didn't even get down to that point of that being weird. But yes, he just counts and he goes, oh, I guess it's not light or whatever, and the whole thing. And
yeah, that particular like in charge savior of their colony area, he's like a bitch.
Right.
He's nothing like the other guy, and certainly nothing like Negan.
No. Right.
Which,
he's not like
and to say he's a bitch means he's like kind of a good person, I guess.
Like a normal.
Yeah.
So he's like, wait, relax, like it's fine, stop it. Right. He's not just like, yeah, let's beat him up too. For
next time, we're gonna have to kill him.
We're gonna have to kill you.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to fucking go.
It just like a lot of this episode just felt like build up with no resolution. I was like, all right, we're gonna do this. No, we're not. oh, we gotta, no. Maybe next episode, or I'll see you later. Like,
This episode, I'm so glad because I figured you might be like, this was interesting or that was cool or something, and I have to be like, no, because like this is the exact thing that I complain about with this show, and like I thought in my
too
head,
much foreplay.
well, I thought in my head that this would happen maybe next episode, not this episode or whatever. That we'd have the premiere and then we'd do some other stuff. We'd go visit some people that we didn't focus on during the premiere, and we would round everything out, and then it'd be like, oh shit, we're off, and then they would like, give you the blue balls for 6 episodes, and then commence with the whatevers. But now, like immediately, this is like the epitome of there's like dumb things that don't make sense. Things that feel like they should have been set up for like 2 episodes to then have this like crescendo. We're just like introduced, set up, knocked around, and then you're going back and driving here and driving there and all this fucking shit.
Yeah.
All right. The Kingdom and Carol, and Daryl is there now, and Daryl's talking to Rich, and Daryl's talking to Carol, and Rich is talking to Carol, and Morgan is talking to Zeke, and all these people are talking to each other, right? The Kingdom, we're wrapping it up. We're just saying that this stuff's happening. Rich wanted to like lead the saviors to Carol's cabin so that they would kill her, and that would prompt Zeke to get involved.
At least try to kill her.
Yeah.
He knows that Ezekiel cares for Carol,
right?
And if she were to be struck down, it might prompt a war, and he wants a war, so that makes sense. But his plan was, we'll lead them to the weapons cache in the woods, and then they'll find this, and they'll go from there to Carol's house. And I'm like, why not take the weapons out of there? And like, you might need those for a coming war.
And like super dumb, and like why is that his plan? Like there's too many moving parts. It's like so dumb.
No,
and then
it's very dumb.
And then him and Daryl get in this fight. What's her name? And he's like Martha, and they fucking go through, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, he could have left out his whole plan there. He didn't have to tell him anything.
Right? Why say any of that?
Because Daryl was like, "Yeah, I'll kill him. Let's kill him."
Yes,
and that was all.
totally
That's all he
fine.
needed was like, "Yeah, I'll kill motherfuckers. Let's kill motherfuckers."
He was down. He was totally down. Stop selling. You've closed the deal. Just move on. Yes, I don't know. The whole thing felt weird and dumb and forced. And all
well,
that
mostly
stuff.
because it was.
Okay.
Just building a wedge.
We die for the kingdom. Why don't you? He says.
He said, "I would die for the kingdom."
Okay. And he says, "Why don't you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, if he takes that as a cue, if he were to die, he's close to Ezekiel. It might cause a little something or other here and there. Who knows? But I have a feeling, because he's like a spineless moron type, that his actions will directly lead to other people's deaths, and that will be why they go into this war.
That'll be why they get involved. Yeah.
So, like, yes, I think he will die, but I don't think he'll die alone.
Yeah. Now I'm sad.
Because think of how half-cocked his plan is. Like, all right, we'll shoot at him, and then we'll throw fire at him, and then we'll shoot at him again.
It was a big rock.
Like...
No, yeah, his plan was kind of dumb. I think his heart is in the right place, or he has heart, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, his family was killed, right? So he's like, I have to kill people?
And he's kind of the only guy, right? He's like, fuck, we gotta do this. No, I'm on board. No, I'll talk to him. Fucking no, I have a cabin. Come check out my trailer, whatever it is. I have some shit here. Like, we gotta do. He's hanging out with Daryl. Like, thank God you're here. Now we can make some shit happen. And then they end up fighting.
Well, yeah, Daryl with somebody else, 2 people, one of them being Daryl, can do a lot.
Yes,
Daryl's a powerful man. He's proven his worth, and he's killed many a person.
Right.
So I'm not even mad at him for being like, oh man, yeah, Daryl, come on, let's do this thing.
No, I just mean
it's
like,
just, he could have really solved that whole thing where he could have been like, okay, we won't kill Carol. All right, and they still would have probably killed him.
Or like, why are you reacting like this? No, you can't go down. And he's like, wait, no, do you know her? Because she came from some other group. That's a part of your group, right? Oh, shit. Okay, no. Okay, new plan. Let's still shoot these people, whatever the fuck, right?
I thought you might know her, but I didn't think you were going to care about her.
Right. Sorry, man. It's just how it is. You got to break some eggs, okay?
No, and while that's all well and good and true, it's dumb. Because he could have been like, okay, and I've told Carol she's going to leave. They're going to ransack her house, though, because they're going to think she's in there, and then that'll prompt Ezekiel. Like, you could have done this very smart.
Yeah. You want to just get rid of the whole kingdom, keep talking about it?
Sure.
Because Daryl talks to Carol, and Daryl doesn't tell Carol that Negan killed the people.
I understand why he didn't tell her.
Sure.
But I also think he has a responsibility that he should have told her.
You think? Yeah.
I do.
I
because,
do too.
I'd want to, at any time, I'd want to know, unless, like, I'm about to enter the Olympics, and after my 3-minute event, I'll be done, and then you could tell me, like, type of situation. There's nothing she's, like, in the middle of that, like, telling her right now is not a benefit. She needs to know what they're up against.
Yes, okay. She's in the middle of, like, her life as, like, not a killer, and he's respecting that or something, but I still thought it was really strange, and I've hated the whole direction that the Carol character has taken for, like, 2 seasons, I think, now, whatever it's been.
Carol's gone downhill.
It's, like, sucking to me.
You'd think that if he told her, it might be enough to be like, I think you should probably come into the community. You're not safe out here. We lost Glenn. We lost Abraham. You know, people are fucking dying. Come on.
There's other reasons to tell her that make sense that are outside of this narrative that they're trying to, like, construct. And it, like, felt strange, and then I think in, like, the very next scene, or they cut away and then cut back, and then Morgan or, like, whoever is saying, like, I guess you didn't tell her because she'd be here right now, and, like, that's good or something like that. And I go, oh, I guess that's why? Is that good? Do you want to let her believe that everything's okay when it's totally not?
She's in her own little fantasy land alone, and I think,
is that good?
I think that's where she wants to be, and would I have told her? Yes, I would have told her.
I feel like she would want to go hug people who are, like,
no,
dealing
I think
with all
she would
this,
want
right?
to kill people.
Yes, but I mean also just like in general, it would be a good thing to know. I feel like she'll say, why didn't you tell me later? And then they'll say, we didn't want you to do this, kill all these people like you're doing right now.
Well, later you'll see her with 2 miniguns just like, just like ripping down saviors.
Exactly, right.
Yeah. Just knives for hands.
Yeah.
Those are
just
his hands.
Spinning.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't like the
There's
Carol
going to
thing.
be
I don't
something
like the
ridiculous
thing.
towards the end featuring Carol, and it's either going to be like straight up Carol going berserker mode and like just murking people, or I could see Carol slipping into the group of women somehow and like getting them.
That's a good angle.
I don't know though. We'll see how it goes.
No, it's got legs.
A lot of things have legs. Turtles, chimps,
turtles,
people,
tortoises, centipedes are like the champs.
Millipedes.
Oh, millipedes. Okay, enough about legs. Let's talk about the Junkrats.
So the Junkrats are like so much weirder than I thought they were.
Yeah.
They speak like they're like the high power of a different country, but like in a post-apocalyptic future that they're kind of in, but like almost Mad Maxian. Like,
yep.
And he wants this. Like you're French or some shit. Like, stop fucking. What are you doing?
Right.
Very strange. Very weird. And just what they're doing doesn't make sense. We don't get involved. We don't blah, blah, blah. We don't do this. They explained the boat thing finally, so it wasn't a test. It was just they knew it was there, and they weren't prepared to risk their own lives to get it.
Right. We waited a long time. We don't bother. We take. We don't bother. Yes.
We don't bother. We take. So that's what doesn't make sense to me. So somebody, bothered, and then they take. So they're bothering that person. No matter what, you can't take without bothering. That doesn't make any sense.
Unless you wait for someone to die and then take.
I guess, but I can't imagine that has been able to sustain the 50 people they have.
I don't even want to analyze her philosophy because I was too hung up on the stuff you just said. And I'm so glad you said it, and I think I wrote it down, but not in all caps like I usually do, so I can't find it. But I was like, why do they talk like this? It's been 4 years. Are you gonna explain this? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It bothered me to a degree, and in my head I'm like, Lee, you're just being
it's very weird. Who runs Bartertown?
Right, like you were in a bad mood or something. You just didn't flow with the show. Like you're just being salty, and then I'm like, no one has talked weird like this. Negan talks differently. Herschel talked differently because of their individual characters, and they have charisma or accents or something like that.
This reminds me of how 2 twins that grew up alone that have twin speak would talk.
Well, and I thought maybe it's just her, and then the other there's 2 other people that say 1 or 2 lines, and they all talk like that or something.
Yeah.
Why do they all talk like that?
They're inbred, but it's not been enough generations to possibly have that.
There hasn't even been a single generation.
Well, they can be inbred from before times.
But that's what it was like. It was like the episode of South Park where at the end they're like, wait, but this was last week? Oh my god. And they're all talking different and have their own fucking... It bothered me so much. And the closest thing in the show to this was the wolves or whatever.
Sure.
But they're crazy cult members. And even they don't talk weird.
No, yeah. They just carve things into their heads.
They just carve stuff into their heads, and they kind of talk crazy because they're crazy. And they've gravitated towards each other due to their craziness. And it was the closest connection that I could make to try to reconcile these Junkrat people, and I still couldn't, and I hate it so much.
And the Junkrats are so weird, and a large majority of them are going to just die off.
Right, because they don't have lines. They haven't been given like
well, they
focus
can't
or
live.
whatever. Yeah.
One of those guys was gigantic. Did you see him like
Yes.
coming out? I think I was like, that guy's huge. He's gonna die.
Totally. He'll be featured. He's featured extra, and he will die.
Yeah, but I really wonder. So like they make a bargain, so they get to keep like the stuff they already took, most of it anyway. They get to keep a third of everything they get, and I'm like okay, so like they're making a bargain. So there's more people than there are shares for this scenario right now, unless they're only planning on bringing the Hilltop in. Because I would have to imagine, because he told Daryl, like work on them, blah blah blah. Like they're planning the Kingdom to come in.
Right.
So that's at least 4 shares right there of the 1/3. So like once you make a deal with someone, though, you can't cut their share. So now you're just cutting your share. Like if an investor buys in for like 50%, they own 50% of the company, and now you can only divvy out 50% of the company.
Yeah. Well, okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you mean without listening to anything that you just said. No, because yes, and this is gonna be the fucking thing, right? Because what is it? Well, Hilltop. Who's fucking Hilltop? There's like 7 people there.
There's not a lot, but if you think about how it goes, that's different people.
I totally agree, because we have the
Kingdom, and then you have the Amazons,
right?
Too.
We have the Junkrats, the Amazons, the Kingdom, and the Hilltop.
But the Amazons might be happy enough with just saying, "Oh, Negan's dead. I'm fine," because I don't think they might not be fighting at all. They might just be giving guns.
I think that they're just going to provide the guns too. I totally agree.
I would imagine that's how it goes. But we'll see. Once Negan's dead, they might join the fold.
But even how all that would work out, right? There's no share for Rick's group.
No,
Rick's just doing this for charity to like get out from under the boot of Negan or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't think they weren't in trouble before the Saviors came along. So I think
they'll be fine.
One year might be very struggling.
Right.
But I think they'd be okay.
No, totally. I totally and that everything that you're saying makes sense, and it's totally fucking whatever it is. I don't know.
And they're still fine with the Hilltop, and they're still fine with the Kingdom. So like they could just go to either of those places and leave Alexandria.
Yeah.
There's no reason to stay there. But they do need the Saviors dead.
Right.
And I wouldn't trust these trash rat bitches like at all.
I don't. And
but they're cannon fodder. I'm fine with having them just like run into the fire. You've got guns now. Come on. But like, have any of you ever used guns? You're like so happy to have guns, but you're not like warriors. You have like pickaxes and like fucking sticks.
And they said we need guns, right?
Yeah.
And they said that they don't. It really bothers me when all of a sudden there's so many people.
Sure.
On this show. And it was fine when Rick's group was traveling so much, where I was like, oh, you like entered this new person's like territory, but here
these people are very close proximity to each other. You'd think they'd be
right.
They would have encountered each other just by the amount of limited resources.
Exactly, because it's like, well, if you just pick a direction and drive and there's no anything, I guess there could be people in all these places or something. But yeah, with the resource limitations, I don't know. I feel this haze, this like confusing haze in my brain trying to...
Well, the trash rats say how like their food supplies are low, some of the cans they open are rotted, like...
Right.
I'm wondering, where are they even getting food? There's a lot of them.
There's a fuck ton of them.
Yeah.
And Rick was smiling because here's my army.
And they live in a junkyard. Like they don't seem like they're farming or anything. Maybe they're eating rats. I don't know.
The whole thing is so dumb. Doesn't make sense. This is probably in the comic, and maybe it makes more sense there or something like that.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I don't like this. This is dumb to me. I think that they should have just taken the ingredients that they set up in the first half of the season and like executed on those. This feels like, I guess we had the boat and we had the you still lose or whatever, but they didn't even put that there like they said. They were just like, fuck, I don't know. It feels like season premiere. Here's a whole huge fucking thing that we didn't have before.
I'm definitely curious to see where this goes, and it definitely has potential to be good. But at the moment, there is a lot of factors to be accounted on, and more factors to be determined.
Yeah, but I think we see how it's going to come together. It's just a matter of how it's going to come together.
But we don't even know the numbers on some of these things. So, like, we've seen the trash rats we've seen. So, like, they look to be a large group. But we don't know how many saviors there are. Because he says there's multiple outposts. We've never seen all the outposts.
Right.
And unless you kill all the outposts, you still have an enemy.
Yeah, and they've talked about, like, maybe if we just kill Negan and all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do.
We will see where that leads us. So what else do we have happening in this episode?
Well, so Gabriel actually says, "Why'd you smile?" I think.
Yeah, so he was there the whole time, which I was like, wait a minute, what? So like, we joked about like, and Gabriel's there, and he's the Lord of the Flies, and this and that. But like, in all seriousness, I didn't think that was actually a thing. And then when he mentions how he actually got taken down, he's like, I caught one of them rummaging the food, and then they jumped me and made me take all the food, and I'm like,
what happened? Makes no sense. Totally makes no sense.
No.
Why would they do that? And they filmed it that way just so that you would not know, but they didn't give any indication, not even like a silhouetted person, I guess. So you'd think that he ran away, just so you'd think that, I guess.
Yeah, no, very,
with no sign of another person. Did he even go down there because he heard something?
It didn't seem like it. It seemed like he was looking out over the wall and then went, and like, I have to go back. I have to leave. Get the hell out of here. I need my thing. Like he had an epiphany, it looked like.
It seemed like he was like, well, I'm out. just like, fuck it, or something like that. But, so weird. So he says, why'd you smile? I didn't write down what Rick said. I just wrote down bullshit and underlined it 3 times.
He said something like, sometimes your enemies can be your friends, or some bullshit like that.
Okay.
Something
bullshit
to the effect of that.
Right. So this is like an impossible, so like, and the whole thing that I hinted at before and that we talked about some, like the whole thing. They fucking like knock him into a big garbage pile and he fights a spiky walker, like prove himself. Because like, if we're going to make a deal with you about the saviors, we got to like fucking risk your life in this horrible contrived scenario to prove that you can beat a spiky walker in a trash heap, because that's a skill we need you to have. Otherwise we don't know.
I always take these things less as a like, we want to see if you can actually do that, to be like all right, are we even going to do this? Well, it's essentially a coin flip. We don't really want to do it, so we'll throw you in here, and if you survive, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Then we'll entertain.
And
they're
still not guaranteeing anything, because you still now have to go out and get us guns, or else we're not doing it. So.
And they say like soon or else, like offer is expiring or whatever they say.
I would worry more about like, so Rick put his hand up to block that spiked walker and put a spike like right through his hand.
Yep.
So like that does not heal right away. That throws him off his game now for a good while.
Is that his shoot? That always fucking happens on this
Rick
show
is a
too.
lefty, I think.
Okay.
And I think that was his right hand.
Sure. That makes sense then. I don't know what hand he is, but like stuff like that's what I was building to with my stupid rant about this stupid situation, where it's like, this is like the leader of like the group. He's like the military like commander, and he's got like whatever the hell, and like you are considering entering into like a deal with him. So we're going to risk his life, and like in this world, like that's just tetanus now. That's like we have no idea. That could just get infected and he could just die. Like the idea that people are so cavalier with their bullshit and make all these things out of all these things drives me insane.
It was a big gash on his leg. That was a pretty nice cut.
Was it?
Oh yeah. The cut on his foot on his leg was way worse than his hand.
Right.
But both those things are like this. When you kind of hit it on the head here, are like are the difference between like life and death, because people jump into these things like way too easy, where like the person has like broken fingers and they climb a mountain or something. And I'm like, minor paper cuts on your hand are such an inconvenience that would throw off your timing on stuff like just a second, which could lead to your death in this world.
And he has to fight Negan.
And now a whole hand is like, crippled, because you go right to the wrong part of your hand. You now like don't have the ability to grip.
Yes.
Somehow he still climbed up and got out of there. That could be shock. I don't know. But his leg, that was a deep gash.
Yeah,
he now has a
messed
limp.
up.
Like,
right, he's messed up.
You've really shot him in the foot here.
And their eyes. So it's either going to be completely meaningless and everything's going to be fine. He's going to have like a Band-Aid, or it's going to be like a plot point now. And I don't know yet. And either way, it's super dumb to me that this whole thing happened.
It would be great if it gets infected and he loses his hand.
Oh, just to like have the whole fucking
the nod to the comics.
That would be very interesting then.
It could, anything could happen. This is a show
that would totally redeem it for me, because to me right now it just feels like the same bullshit as before, where like Daryl gets shot or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what did that matter? It turns out nothing, I guess. It hasn't been enough time for even a flesh wound to like heal properly, but Daryl seems fine. It didn't come into play when he was in like the Easy Street cell, right?
No.
So what the fuck does that happen for? Just so the episode could end and you'd be like, no, and like a fucking
yeah. So you like this episode?
Anything else happen in this episode? Let's take a look.
Oh, well, it was the best episode of the series so far. I can't think of anything better than this one. None of the season finales, none of the premieres, nothing tops this boring episode.
You know what I liked? When Rick was trying to talk to like the governor and Herschel was on his knees, and Herschel smiled at like Rick in this way of like,
I'm gonna die.
Like I know that I'm gonna die, and it like warms my heart that you're doing this thing that you're doing, but it also like amuses me that like you don't get. It's like in Breaking Bad, when it's like, well, you're the only person in here that doesn't know that I'm already dead or something like that. It's like one of those scenes, and it's like, oh, and then like the governor's just like, liar, and like cuts his head off, and the whole fight breaks out. That I liked a lot.
Did I imagine this?
It's been a couple of seasons.
Did I imagine this? Hang on. Does Herschel's decapitated head bite somebody?
Something happens. It's like yipping and yapping. I don't think it. I think they made you think it bites somebody.
I like have this mental image in my head of someone going like motherfucker and like finally shooting him because it bit them.
No, something happens. I forget if some. I don't think anyone turns or it actually like causes a problem with the main character. It might be some small character. Anyway, I'm saying the show's capable of really making me happy and impressing me.
Sure. I thought they were going to take his watch.
Week. Okay.
When they're like, what do you want? And like his like watch was very prominently displayed there.
Really?
I thought they were going to be like, your watch. I want your watch.
Right? Like we're this dumb, weird, fucking alien space tribe, Junkrat people.
They strike me almost as the same race that the alien bounty hunter from Critters was. They have the same like eyes, like.
Yep.
You know the one I'm talking about, the one that takes over like the
where they're like
singer.
blank and then they go into the thing.
Yeah.
No, it's they and that makes and maybe it'll like
maybe they are aliens.
Listen, I was like there's no way that the tiger could make sense. That's crazy.
Wait. The tiger looked so shittily CGI'd with him and Daryl. It was as if they were like, it's now a calico tiger. It was like half the size it should be.
Okay.
Its proportions didn't make sense. I was like, what? You have a tiger? I've seen it. Why, when it's in a cage, can it not be a tiger? Why then is it digital?
I think it's always been digital.
Has it?
I think.
Really?
But either way, yes.
It looked good up until this time.
But yes,
it was like
it was
so askew.
It was askew. Something was amiss.
It looked like they were like, all right, let's just make it a little smaller, but they didn't like hold shift when they clicked to drag, so they just like shrunk it a little bit. Like it was too small. Like it looked like its legs were too short for its body, and it was too small overall.
It was like a wiener dog.
Kinda.
I don't remember exactly
like the dachshund
exactly what it looked like, but I do remember being like, okay, we've given up the budget now for the tiger. We're just going to show the tiger.
But like, if ever there could have been a shot where like, yep, it's a tiger in a cage. Pff, we got this. Just put a tiger in the cage.
Just get a tiger.
Just get any tiger.
I wonder if they have a real tiger. But what I was saying was that when they played the quick tiger thing in like the preview for all of season 7, I was like, "There's no way that's." I'm like, fuck. But it actually makes perfect sense the way that they fucking put it into the story, and that was Kirkman doing that, not like the people who made the show or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, so maybe this stupid Junkrat tribe that talks like the Mad Max, and that was my exact thought. That was my like exact thing. But it has been 4 years. She used to be like a waitress or like a teacher or like a parking attendant. Like, why would you?
Maybe they're people from like a mental institution.
I would like that a lot. That would be great. I hope something happens.
Her name is Zool.
Yes.
No, what is her name? It's like Jaden or something.
Jadis. Which is not a real name. I'm just piling on bullshit now.
Nah.
I'm just talking.
Do you have any more thoughts for this episode?
At the end, so we actually segued flawlessly into it because Daryl talks to Morgan. Daryl Daryl ends up leaving or whatever.
That tiger's warming up to you.
Right. Anyone that has a tiger can't be all bad. Whatever he says. We need you in the kingdom. Yeah, Morgan's like not down with. They have like a heartfelt fucking thing similar to Carol's thing that I totally just was like fucking talking. Stop talking. I'm a horrible person. But he says something like like whatever you're holding on to, it's already gone. Yeah. There's this theme of like Morgan and now Carol in this much more passionate and like extreme way are both trying to do this thing where it's like all life is precious, all that business or whatever.
It'll make it all the more joyous in like the season finale when they're both like the Rock's character in the Rundown when it's like, I didn't say I can't use guns, I said I don't like using guns. He's like and it's like killing people left and right because they broke his stick in the next episode.
Right, no, and like I can't help but also...
That was made by the cheesemaker! Oh, he had a goat!
That was the goat fucker's stick! No, I just like, but I can't help even then feel just like, well, this has just been this grand manipulation of like, we're going to make her into this whatever character, and then just, because like, if she does start murdering everyone and does all this awesome stuff, she will have failed unless she also somehow realizes that it's good to do that. But it's not good to do that. Killing people is bad and like fucks people up.
No, but
so, like,
killing
she has
people
a point in the
is
first
bad.
place.
But if it means the people you care about will live,
Yeah.
it is okay. I'm
So-
pretty sure that's in the Bible. Eye for an eye or some shit.
It's 100%
In the Bible.
like justified or like ethical or like whatever you want to call it. But that's as true right now as it will be in episode whatever 15 or whatever.
No,
this is
but
gonna
people
happen.
will. But by episode 15, she will realize 3 or 4 or 7 or whatever her friends are dead,
Yes.
and it's time to get revenge, and she can't
Exactly.
lose anymore.